So this is Marcie.
Hello.
I'm Kim. Hey. And we decided to do this show.
Yes.
Political Asylum. Marcie actually came up with the name, I thought, right away. I loved it. It was great. And it's really pertinent to what's going on today.
Definitely it is. It's crazy.
But I think we should start out our first podcast with talking about how we got here. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on this week, and we want to keep it current.
Yes.
But I remember, and I just want to talk to you about this, the elections in 2016, when Trump was elected to be president, and
Yes.
Kenny and I were sitting late at night, watching those
too.
totals come in.
Oh my God.
And I just couldn't believe it. I was astounded.
Yes.
And then when they actually announced him being president, I looked at Kenny, and I know this show's probably going to get a lot of bleeping, but I said, Kenny, this is the end of the world as we know it. We're totally
Yes, we are.
Those were my words. Those exact words. Swear to God. And
yes.
And
I felt the same way. I had the same sentiment. My jaw dropped to the floor. And, for some reason, because of all the things that were going on with the dirt throwing and the name callings, and I'm like, nobody can really vote for this guy. Like, he was just putting words out there. And when he was out there calling Russia to find those emails, and I'm like, is he soliciting another country to I'm like, no, this
it was
cannot.
Weird, right?
I said to myself, this got to
normal.
be a stunt, right? Like, it's not. Because I've never seen any other president, or nominee or any candidate try to, throw dirt, like the way he did.
Yeah, even the night that he was elected, and he walked after it was official, and he had to walk on the stage with his family and make his little speech of, I honestly at that point, he if you look at that really closely, I think he was surprised that he was elected.
Himself.
I don't think he was expecting it.
No.
If you look at that footage of him standing there,
he was shocked himself.
He didn't know what to say.
But that proves that basically he did this probably all under the intentions of having, to do a show, right? But I really feel that he did not have the true wanting to be a president. And if he did go there, well, it was just now, as proven 3 years later, it's just to benefit himself and his rich corporate friends,
Right.
So,
So, and when we go back from the beginning, and I have little notes here, of course, because at first, when he was elected, every week, I would think, oh, wow, that's not good. So I would actually write notes. I did. I started writing. I kept tabs. But then every week I thought, I can't keep up with this shit.
It's so much.
I mean, even in the first few months, and I'm just going to read some of this stuff. Even in the first few months, my note-taking, and it's just astonishing. From then until now. Especially when he said I could shoot somebody in the head and get away with it.
Yeah.
He was all, remember Steve Bannon and how he started deconstructing our democracy.
Steve Bannon! Yay!
You don't get between Steve and his objective.
Mr. Bannon's dark worldview, as outlined in his films and media appearances, speaks of a dystopian America, battling multiple enemies, from its own corrupt elites to radical Islam.
I believe strongly is a crisis both of our church, a crisis of our faith, a crisis of the West, and a crisis of capitalism. We're at the very beginning stages of a very brutal and bloody conflict.
He's trying to encourage chaos.
He also has a problem with the massive influx of migrants, including many Muslims, to Europe.
It's not a migration. It's really an invasion.
These are not people with thousands of years of understanding democracy in their DNA coming up here.
Well, he's the one that got into Trump's head too.
Yeah.
He wanted that accomplishment. He wanted to put his agenda into Trump. And since he was elected, look at the beginning on how and the people who he surrounded himself with.
Under Steve Bannon, Breitbart ran highly provocative articles which appealed to the alt-right, a rebrand of the far-right movement. It includes white nationalists. The articles on Breitbart spoke of an us and them America. The website was also accused of pursuing an anti-Muslim agenda. Many women, too, were outraged by some of the articles, with headlines like, "Birth control makes women unattractive and crazy."
He said that all the racism and what have you would wash out. That was his phrase, that eventually they would sort of see the light and drop those objectionable views. But what was important to Bannon is that they were on his side when it came to tearing down members of the establishment.
So he welcomed white supremacy as part of his empowerment thing, as a power struggle.
I don't know that he welcomed it, but he certainly didn't show any sign that he was particularly troubled by it.
Steve Bannon was one.
Right.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, he was
the right wing, that, really far right wing conservative. I'm gonna, we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna run this country like this, And I'm pretty sure he probably gave Trump, a nice little plan to look at.
A flurry of executive orders, including an entry ban to the United States for people from 7 predominantly Muslim countries, have caused outrage.
No hate, no fear. Refugees are welcome here.
It was Mr. Bannon who apparently insisted that American green card holders be included in the ban, with critics saying he simply has a problem with Muslims.
He does not have an experience in government. He does not have experience in national security. And so to put someone who has his very clear track record as a white nationalist, which is essentially a white supremacist, in the center of national security for the country is quite troubling.
Send in Steve Bannon.
In Saturday Night Live, he's cast as the all-powerful Grim Reaper.
Hello, Donald. I have arrived.
Hi, Steve. You look rested.
Thank you.
In a deeply divided United States, Steve Bannon is seen either as the man who will help save America or destroy it.
Can I have my desk back?
Yes, of course, Mr. President. I'll go sit at my desk.
So
what you wanted to do.
And you, like, right from the beginning, like, there were people in his administration, but they were out too. I mean, I don't know how many cabinet members we've been through.
So many.
We should look that up and put it up. But
I believe there was a list, and it was over. Well, now it's even more, but back in that time, it was like over 50, 60 of them that was just rid of in less than a year.
Yeah.
So all of these people that he was bringing in, they...
And maybe even Steve Bannon, I mean, in hindsight, when you look at it, maybe he thought it was just too corrupt for him. And because he was fired, though, right? He was let go.
He was let go.
Poor Sean Spicer too. In the beginning with the crowd size, he was let go because I'm sure, like, after a few times, Sean Spicer's like doing his meetings or whatever in the White House, and then at one point he must have said, "I'm out."
Is it your intention to always tell the truth from that podium, and will you pledge never to knowingly say something that is not factual?
It is.
So are you retracting your claim on Saturday that it was the largest crowd in person?
That's not what I said.
Well, you said this was the largest audience to ever witness an inauguration, period, both in person and around the globe.
Right. To
Both
witness
in person,
and around the globe. Yes. The total audience it was.
Total audience, but not simply in person.
But right. But again, I didn't say in person, both in person and around the globe to witness it.
You're saying those together.
No, that's actually what I said. It's not what I don't know how you can interpret it differently. That's literally what I said. To witness it in person and around the globe. Total audience, yes.
They don't last long because they see, these are the people that are in there day by day, and they see what's going on, and they see how the White House is functioning, especially this administration. It's so crazy.
He insulted a Gold Star family.
Facing a bipartisan backlash over his attacks of the family of a slain Muslim U.S. soldier, Donald Trump is not backing down.
Wow, thank you very much.
And neither is the family of Army Captain Humayun Khan, who was awarded a Bronze Star and Purple Heart for helping save fellow soldiers in Iraq by walking toward a car loaded with explosives in 2004.
This is a proof of his ignorance and arrogance. And I again and again ask his advisors to get him in a room, close the door, and set him right.
Called John McCain a coward.
Yeah.
Arizona Senator John McCain, who Trump once said was not a war hero because he was captured, issued a lengthy statement denouncing the GOP candidate, writing, "I cannot emphasize enough how deeply I disagree with Mr. Trump's statement. I hope Americans understand that the remarks do not represent the views of the Republican Party, its officers, or candidates." President Obama weighing in on the issue this afternoon.
No one has given more for our freedom and our security than our Gold Star families.
All this as Hillary Clinton accuses Trump of again crossing the line with his remarks.
To have Trump do what he did, I don't know where the bounds are. I don't know where the bottom is.
The stuff with Billy Bush degrading women.
I moved on her, actually. You know, she was down in Palm Beach. I moved on her, and I failed. I'll admit it.
Whoa.
I did try and her. She was married.
That's huge news, Sarah.
No, Nancy. Yeah. No, this was marriages. And I moved on her very heavily. In fact, I took her out furniture shopping. She wanted to get some furniture. I said, I'll show you where they have some nice furniture. I took her out furniture. I moved on her like a bitch, but I couldn't get there. And she was married. Then all of a sudden, I see her. She's now got the big phony tits and everything. She's totally changed her look.
Jeez, your girl's hot as shit. In the purple.
Whoa!
Yes!
Whoa!
Yes, the Donald has scored!
Whoa!
Oh, my man! Wait, you gotta look at me when you get out. You're like,
set this up.
That is very.
Will you give me the thumbs
Look
up?
at you. You are a
You
piece.
gotta put the thumbs up. You gotta
Okay.
get the thumbs up. Can't be too happy. Else off first? Yeah, let me.
It's very
You
fun.
gotta give me the thumbs up.
You and I will walk down.
Oh my God.
Maybe it's a different one.
Better not be the publicist. No, it's her.
Yeah, that's her, with the gold. I better use some Tic Tacs just in case I start kissing her. You know, I'm automatically attracted to beautiful. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. You just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything.
Come on, shorty.
Ooh, nice legs, huh?
Oof, get out of the way, honey. That's good legs. Go ahead.
It's always good if you don't fall out of the bus. Like Ford, Gerald Ford, remember?
Down below. Pull the hand.
Hello, how are you? Hi.
Mr. Trump, how
nice
are
seeing
you?
you. Terrific.
Pleasure to meet you.
Terrific. You know Billy Bush?
How are you?
Nice to see you. How you doing,
Very
Ariane?
good.
I'm doing very well, thank you. Are you ready to be a soap star?
We're ready. Let's go. Make me a soap star.
How about a little hug for the Donald? He just got off the
Would
bus.
you like a little hug,
Okay,
darling?
absolutely. Melania said this was okay.
And he was mocking people with disabilities.
Written by a nice reporter. Now the poor guy, you got to see this guy. Oh, I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Oh, maybe that's what I said. This is 14 years ago. They didn't do a retraction.
That reporter he is talking about is Serge Kovaleski, who now works for the New York Times. As you can see right there, he suffers from a chronic condition that impairs movement of his arms. A Times spokesman says they find it outrageous that Trump would ridicule the man's appearance.
Yes. And people loved it. I mean, like, his base was there. They were like, yeah, you know.
Get the fuck out of here!
And all I care for was basically him being in office and getting that nomination and being the president.
Hillary Clinton needs to get her ass spanked.
But for what? What was the purpose of them wanting, because they were sick of Obama?
The president has divided this country so badly.
Yeah. Fuck that
nigga. There's a group out there, just throw them the hell out.
Or they were, not happy, or because it was a racial thing.
Fuck Islam. Fuck them. Fuck Islam. God bless Donald Trump. Thank you for not taking the shirt off. I did. Fucking A.
Or it could be 1,001 things with these people.
Yeah, and let's remember the first thing that he did when he was in office was the travel ban.
Yes.
With the Muslims.
Except Saudi Arabia.
Know who's coming to this country. The safety of the American citizens, the safety of our country, has got to be paramount.
Oh, yeah.
Except Saudi Arabia, and that was a reason, and we know now.
And now here we are with that, you know. And actually, it's been a year since the killing of the journalist
Khashoggi.
in Saudi Arabia. It's been a year already. Wow, time flies, right?
It really.
For more than 2 weeks, the Saudis insisted nothing untoward happened in this building, that Jamal Khashoggi walked in and walked out again alive. Now this. An admission the journalist is in fact dead and the Saudis killed him. But does their story add up, and will it convince anyone? It requires believing that Jamal Khashoggi, a mild-mannered journalist, fought a fist fight in the consulate that led to his death with a number of other men. The Saudi government says 18 people have been arrested and are being investigated. Among them, it's thought at least some of the 15 agents Turks say were sent to Istanbul to deal with Khashoggi, and a high-ranking intelligence official, General Assiri. Turkish officials say they have evidence Khashoggi was tortured, killed and dismembered, a very different story from the Saudi version of events.
I would prefer that we don't use as retribution canceling $110 billion worth of work.
And key questions remain. Will allies swallow the story, or will America press on with sanctions? Will the Turks produce evidence to the contrary? And if this is the truth, why did Saudis lie for 2.5 weeks before changing their story?
I mean, and it's like, you know, this prince of Saudi Arabia, you know, of course he's going to deny those allegations about, you know, that he had nothing to do with the killing of Khashoggi, you know, but there has been evidence that has been portrayed and it has been put out there that yes, but no, there's no sanctions against this country.
You know, this whole conversation can get really lost and like I feel
so many
spastic because like you go from one subject to another. I mean, I'm still trying to be at the beginning, and here we are already with this, finding these connections.
But you look at it from all of the start, it does lead up to where we at now. So if you do look at 3 years ago and things that we like, this is impossible. How can this be happening? And what's going on? It all connects to what was being done then to what is happening now.
Yeah. So I think like what we'll do is during this podcast, because we're still trying to figure it out, in between some of the conversations that we have, we're going to throw up something funny. Because everywhere we look, the news is crap. What crap news? So what good can we throw? Like something like this.